Today we're once again going to be diving into AFK Journey, teaching you everything you need to know to get started, some tips and tricks and general useful information. AFK Journey will officially be launching on March 27th, most likely right around the time I'm uploading this. You can download it for Android, iOS, and PC using my special link in the description down below, so make sure to check that out. AFK Journey will also be giving away more than 40 heroes of all qualities, including epic heroes, totally for free. In addition to that, just by logging in for 7 days and participating in their various events, you can get an additional 200 plus pulls. I do also want to quickly thank AFK Journey for sponsoring this video, but in a nutshell, for those that are out of the loop, AFK Journey is the successor to AFK Arena, but I definitely wouldn't call it AFK Arena 2 or anything. It has distinctive visuals, intricate gameplay mechanics, and overall sets itself apart. Starting with the first tip here, I think it is important to understand the basic gameplay mechanics. AFK Journey can be played, as the name suggests, AFK or auto. However, they do also have a unique system called bullet time, where when you manually trigger a hero's ability, time will slow down to a crawl and you can position your attack. This is particularly helpful with AoE attacks, so you can position it just right or just in time to hit as many enemies as possible or to buff or heal as many allies as possible. So just with bullet time, there is already an element of strategy in play here, but we also have special terrain situations like high or low walls where archers can fire over the low walls and both ally and enemy units cannot pass over them. There are also traps like exploding barrels you can trigger manually, and several other things like this you will experience yourself as you play. Second tip, also pertaining to combat, and that is positioning. As a general rule of thumb, you can use common sense. Tanks and warriors go in the front, healers, supports, ranged attackers, etc. go behind them. Here you can see a side-by-side battle. In both battles, we have the same units fighting the same enemies. The only difference is the left side has just everyone on the front line, just random locations essentially, and on the right, some common sense was applied. Depending on other factors like terrain, you may need to tweak these positions further. It is obviously important to have a good team as well. Depending on which heroes you have at your disposal, team building can get quite deep and complex, but there are some basic things you should be aware of. First of all heroes come from one of 6 factions. Looking at my Cessia here, for example, she is a Graveborn. Having multiple of the same factions in your team does give you a buff. Thoran here, for example, is also Graveborn, and coincidentally, these are some of the best units in the game currently. There are only 4 main factions. The other 2 can be considered as wildcards, but you can see our faction bonuses here. Maxed out with 5 of the same type, you see we get 22% attack, 22% HP. If you don't want to be tied to a specific unit, you can also go 2 and 3, for example, like this, and still get a decent 14 attack, 14 HP bonus. But in general, you do want a good balance of defensive units like tanks and healers, DPSs like marksmen or rogues, and supports like Rowan here. We will go over Gacha later, and I can recommend some specific units to aim for first because they do have a pretty cool system like that. While we're here, let's talk about the Resonance Hall. This is a very, very cool system that AFK Journey has, but the point here is to say, never hesitate raising your units. Even if you still have the 5 starter units or whatever, and you know you're gonna get better units soon, doesn't matter, raise them as high as they can go, because the levels of the 5 heroes you place up here correspond to the levels of the heroes you have or will get in the future. You can also just swap them out. So we can take my level 40 Granny, for example, and swap it out with my Odie, and she becomes level 50 where Odie becomes level 40. So it really doesn't matter. I feel like this is an important thing, even though it might be obvious, because me personally, I'm always trying to be as efficient as possible, and I don't want to waste any resources on any characters I'm not going to use forever. But in this case, it'll literally only hold you back. Moving on from that, we have equipment. This will be a quick one because it's very simple. You have the 6 classes here, and certain support equipment can be there, but you do want to check this pretty often. If you do have new or better equipment for one of your 6 classes, there'll be a button you can click here and it'll replace the worst stuff with the new stuff. All units of the same class share this gear, so you don't have to, go manage gear for each of your individual units, which I find very, very nice. Soon after you start playing, you will unlock this AFK Progress menu. You want to try and get as far as you can in this as early as possible, because as you increase your AFK challenge progress, you get more resources per hour. This is also tied to various other progression mechanics, and these are rewards you accumulate while you're not even playing, so of course you want to get it as high as possible, as fast as possible. Jumping to the Mystical House now, and the Noble Tavern, this is where we get into Gacha. We have done several epic recruitment polls already and got some nice units. However, what I want to focus on right now is the all-hero recruitment and the special wish list, which we need to summon 30 times for. We'll just do another 10 pull. This should actually guarantee us an S rank hero. I am really happy to get Odie's though, he's nice. nice. But this will essentially be a random 5-star. Okay, we got, I think that's our 3rd Rowan. I mean, duplicates are very useful as well, so I'm not sad about duplicates, and Rowan's a good character, so it's fine. Anyway, once you summon 30 times in the all-hero recruitment, there is a neat little feature called the wish list, which gives you some very nice control over which units you actually want and which ones you want to avoid. So basically, if they're here in your wish list, you will get someone here, and you will avoid everyone that's not in the wish list. So I've spent a few minutes actually customizing my wish list here. This is essentially how I would set it up. There are a few units that are good for most stuff, like Thoran, Cessia, Rowan. Some are good for certain things, like Cassidy here is mostly good for Dream Realm, etc., etc. And we can go ahead and check out how that works. So we're gonna summon here, we only get a purple, but we can see which purple that is, and this is indeed one of the ones I selected in my wish list. We did a couple more and actually got a gold here. Okay, Cassidy. When it comes to epic recruitments though, they have a pity of 30 and that stays consistent. And their wish list works a little differently. You can basically just choose any 5 units to go up here and your next epic will be one of these 5. As I started getting some of the ones that were up here, I started swapping them out. Personally, this is probably how I will keep it. I do have some of these heroes already like Thorin and Cessia, but again, duplicates are good. I still do want to get Aaron, he's another DPS. Currently, I have way more supports than DPSs, so it would be nice. Though again, keeping in mind factions, you might want to restrict yourself to only 1 or 2 types at the beginning. Next, this one should seem pretty obvious, but make sure to explore. AFK Journey is an open world game and there are a lot of somewhat hidden treasures to find, so if you see anything suspicious, make sure to go and check it out. Taking a look at the bottom right of the screen, we have several icons. Clicking the compass will bring you to the growth path. This is something you should check pretty often in the beginning. You get lots of good rewards here. That'll help you get stronger faster. This is another one of those things you should be pretty heavily focusing on in the beginning. Like we just have to do 1 arena battle here to get the last point, 1 quick arena battle later, and there we go. We can continue on, get a couple of pulls here, some equipment, then we can move on to the next growth stage, etc., etc. Get a lot more nice rewards. Find Cassidy, I'm assuming is story related, so we would be continuing on with that now. But besides the growth path, we also have daily challenges, lots of easy free diamonds to get here every single day. I didn't even pay attention to this and boom. You do obviously have to come to this screen every day and actually collect the rewards though. Growth trials are in a similar vein. These are sort of one-off rewards here, but you know, always good to come here and collect the stuff when you haven't for a while. In a similar vein, the icon above it, we have the noble path. You can spend some money to get a better noble path, but there are also free rewards here and also daily, weekly, and challenging quests you can do as well to get points for this. So even if you plan to be fully free to play, you should come here and do these quests to get the free rewards as well. And the final tip, which might be a little meta, but if you open up the menu down here and go to guide, there will be a collection of all the little details here in case you forget something. There are of course things we touched on in this video you will not find here and vice versa. We of course didn't go over every little thing, but what I feel like are the most important. We just got to 3,000 diamonds, so I'm going to do this final 10 pull for Vala because I think she looks really nice as well. All green except for her, but it's totally fine. There she is. But yeah, I suppose that'll pretty much do it for the little beginner guide here. If you have any other tips you think would be important to a beginner, make sure to drop them in the comments below. Also down there and in the description is a link to download AFK Journey, so make sure to check it out. I had a lot of fun making this video and learning about AFK Journey. I really do think it's a nice game, so make sure to give it a try. But yeah, again, that'll do it. Thanks, as always, for watching, and until next time.